Hi everybody! Today I'm going to show you how I made my page marker with the pocket in the front using a list note and list note and a sticky note. And then I'm also going to do a washi sample card. So I'm showing you the finished thing, which I had already showed previously. And of course it's unicorn theme. So there's your sticky note, and then the front of that is actually the list note paper. And the sticky notes are from Michael's. I think I got those last year. The paper, the list pad was from like TJ Maxx or something. The paper on the back is also from Michael's. It's the current one that they have. That's the one that I decided to choose for my backs and for the front of my washi sample. So that's the list pad that I am using. It's a lot longer than what I need, so you'll see what I do for it to work. And you see it's 9 inches by 3 and something. So originally the first one that I'm showing you that's done there is actually sized for my standard size traveler's notebook, but because I'm making some B6s, I'm going to make this to fit a B6. All right, so you just adjust your lengths for that. Now I'm going to mark the width of my cardstock, because you do have to back it up. It's a little too thin, it can't be on its own. So I'm going to cut 2 because I want to make 2 page markers here. And I'm going to cut the width of the list sheet, but the height is actually going to be about 6 3/4, I think, or 6 1/2, somewhere around there. It has to be shorter than your B6 height, which is usually around 7 inches. And once it's laminated, it's actually a little bigger. So again, just adjust your lengths, whatever size you need. That extra scrap I use later on. So again, I'm doing 2 of these. That's why I'm cutting this 2 times. I only need 1 per page marker. So you see the list pad, the sheet is too long. We're going to cut that, and the piece that you cut off is going to be the pocket. So I'm just going to mark it, and then I'm going to cut that and save that bottom piece. You will be needing a laminating machine for this, because that's what I used. So I'm just going to cut both sheets at the same time. Of course, you got to see, look how your image is. You'll make sure you don't cut off your image. That list pad was like perfect to do this because the image is, I could just bring up the bottom part. So I'm grabbing a couple adhesives. I got a stick, and then the glue runner, and then my sticky notes. So I'm going to be using both of those adhesives. One's going to just stick down the 2 sheets of paper together, and the other one's going to hold the sticky note in place. I'm not, worried about permanently sticking it down, because the laminating machine, the laminate sheet or sleeve will actually stick it all together. It'll just hold it. I'm just using the adhesive to hold everything together. So I'm just cleaning up my cuts here because my trimmer, the little blade, I think I need to change it. It's starting to get like little fuzzies on the paper and tear my paper. Sorry for the noise. I'm just trying to move things around as I'm working or watching this video. Okay, so I'm just, taking a look at it again and seeing how it's going to go. Again, I'm cutting, cleaning up the bottom edge that has some fuzzy stuff. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive down to hold those 2 together. And I'm leaving the top partially open. I'm not adhering the top yet because that's where I'm going to insert one of the sticky notes. I don't want to cover up the top decor on that page that you see right there, so I'm going to put the sticky note underneath it, but on the back I put it on the top. So right now I'm just grabbing my corner rounder. I like to use that. I like to round my corners all the time. Now, I was about to do the bottom, but I remember that I'm going to put the pocket there. So if you're going to do it the way I'm doing exactly, I would wait to do the bottom. Don't put your pocket yet because you'll see why. You're just going to put a little hair of glue. But round the top too first, because you won't be able to use the corner chomper once you put the sticky note. It kind of gets in the way. So do your top ones first. And again, I'm doing 2 at a time, so I'm kind of do it like an assembly line. Stick it down, leave the top open for my sticky note, and adhere those 2 together. Then round my corners on the top only. Then I'll put my sticky notes. I'll do everything, leave the pocket last, because the pocket will probably fall off while you're trying to do everything else, since we're not putting that much adhesive on the pocket. And you'll see what I mean in a second. I'm trying to utilize the pocket and not close it up with too much glue. I'm having a sip of water right now. I am doing voiceover on this. I couldn't record everything because my husband was also with me at the time, and he kept coming into my room and disturbing me, so I did a lot of editing on this video. Alright, so now I'm picking out my sticky notes, and I'm using the rainbow with the clouds. Putting a little bit of glue on the bottom just to help me hold everything, because the glue on the sticky note is actually on top. So we're inserting that inside in between the 2 sheets to not cover my design that's on that paper already. And you do got to find sticky notes that you're able to do back to back if you want to do a finished back, which is what I'm doing. You could leave it white like that on the back, but I like to finish it, so we're going to stick another one. And it does a pretty good job covering up any white. So this one's going directly on top of my other paper because it's, the design doesn't really matter if I cover it. And you'll be able to see the whole thing on the back side of that page marker. Alright, so now we could go ahead. Well, let me do the second one. I forgot I'm doing 2. I'm going to do the same thing. But once I'm done, I'm going to be putting down my little pocket. And you could do this process with anything. It doesn't have to be with the same piece. You could maybe pick another piece of paper. But I really like that list pad, and I wanted to use the whole design of it. Okay, so I think now I'm going to be putting down the pocket, and I'm going to be using this stick glue and sliding on the edge of the bottom of my pocket just to get a little hint of glue on there just to hold it in place. You'll see what I mean. Just lightly, barely anything, but I'm just using it so it'll stay in place. And then I'm going to round my corners again on the bottom. Make sure it's all straight. You want to make sure it's all nice and straight before putting it in your pockets, in your laminating pockets to laminate. Alright, so and we do the other one. Same thing. Now, at first I didn't know I was going to be making the washi tape samplers. But when I was putting in those 2 page markers in my laminate pocket, I saw that there's a lot of room left on that, and I don't like to waste the laminating sheets, even though I got plenty. So I decided to go ahead and cut 2 extra pieces to make my washi tape sample cards, which I always add in my TNs that I sell. So you can see there's a lot of space there. Because I'm about to laminate it, because that is pretty much done. And then now I'm just going to cut a couple pieces. I usually do them around 2 by 3 piece cardstock. I won't be doing a backing on this. It won't be, front and back. It's just going to be on the front. So we're cutting 2x3s, and then I'm going to use another sticky note because I thought, you know what, I can do the same thing with these just to have something cute on the top of your washi sample card and something to, you know, pull if you stick it in a pocket. So kind of the same concept. Going to round my corners first, and this time I can do all 4 sides. And then I'm just going to stick down a little sticky note, and I use the unicorn this time, which comes out really cute. I don't think I adhere anything because, oh, maybe I do. I guess I do. I was just trying to see where it was going to go, but it wasn't hanging on good enough, so I just put a little bit there just to keep it in place before I stick it in the pocket. Then I'm making sure that it'll fit, the 2 of them will fit, because then I'll laminate something else if it doesn't fit. I like to just use it up and not waste. So then I'm just going to place them in my laminating sheets. Make sure there's enough space in between all of your pieces so they're not stuck together, or so they're not, so when you cut it, there's not a lot of air pockets between them. Alright, so I will be grabbing a cardstock to slide that on top so that my stuff doesn't move. By the time I get from my desk to the laminating machine, nothing slides around. So you'll see me slip that under and then help me carry it over. And there we go. So now we're done. I'm actually going to run them through again, but I usually cut them first and then run them again through my laminator. Just because, you know, just in case. Alright, so now we are going to slit our pocket. I was looking to make sure, what was I looking for? I don't know what I was looking for there, but you can kind of see in the glare of the plastic a line. That's where the pocket is. It's going to be like an air pocket in there. So that is where you're going to slice it with a blade of some sort, carefully. Do not press too hard, but enough to cut through the plastic, the first layer of plastic. And you'll hear it. You kind of hear like a sort of a crunching noise as you slide it down with a little pressure, but not too much that you're cutting through the paper and through all the way through. Sometimes, you know, it might not go all the way through. You can help it out. Like right now, it didn't really cut completely, but I kind of helped it with my fingers, and I think I came back with the blade for that little piece right there. And then I checked the back to make sure that I didn't go too far, which I did not. So right there is a pocket. And I'm going to do it a second time. It's kind of hard sometimes to find that little line with that thin paper. If you're using a thicker paper, you probably would see it better. So there, I did it better, and I was making sure I didn't cut all the way through. So there's my pockets, and I'm just going to be trimming all the excess plastic around there. And then I'll come around and do the little page markers. I'll cut that off, and that's pretty much it. Now, this is really thin, so I can cut a little closer to it. There's not that much air pockets in there, but if you have thicker paper or cardstock, just be careful not to cut too close, because then everything will separate, and since we didn't put that much adhesive inside, it will just, you know, come apart. But the little rainbow acts like a tab, and you can still see the whole design, and you can still put stuff in the pocket. So it's really cute. And it's just a great way to use those really cute sticky notes that we keep picking up and we just put away. And you could do the same thing with stickers and whatnot. But again, if you want to do a double side, just make sure that the stickers will go back to back. Otherwise, you could leave it white on the back. So then that's pretty much it. I'm just going to finish trimming off the little page, the little washi tape sampler card, whatever you want to call it. It could also be for the micro. You could do the same thing with the, you could do it with any size. And it was the first time that I used something like that on top to do like a little, at least as far as I can remember. Super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye as you watch me finish up there, and thank you all for watching. Oh, there will be the link down below to any other tutorials that I may have as far as TNs are concerned. There's a whole playlist for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.